Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fiscus Friday. Today is April the 1st. This is not an April Fool's joke. This is us. This is Fiscus, and we have a lot to talk about today. Lots of updates. Um, Definitely on my side, we want to be brief. We have a lot that is going on right now, both everything that everyone knows about and several elements that we're going to discuss today that everyone does maybe not know about. And so excited to talk about these things and everything that is and is quickly becoming Fiscus. We've moved past words into definable action, and I think that's one of the greatest um, indicators of growth and of progress. And so I will hit some of the updates that I have, probably honestly quite short on words, which is a little bit unlike me. And that's just because we're busy. We're busy in the business of Fiscus and excited for that. And then after that, well, I'll turn it over to Kyle, and then we'll go to Princess, and we'll be out. The What everyone is waiting on, of course, most of those updates coming from Kyle. I want to talk about some things that you didn't know that were happening. We are in process now of minting the new Avalanche NFTs. Those are going to be airdropped. So everyone that has the previous NFTs will have these. Barring any unforeseen stability issues, the secondary marketplace partner is going to be Kaleo.io on Avalanche. That's KALAO.io. And so we expect that to serve as a good, vibrant secondary marketplace for us. That additional functionality that will be included in the NFT DApp later on will be a slew of things that everyone is excited about, but this is a great place for us to begin, for everyone to have their Avalanche NFTs and the representation of what that means from a utility perspective. Several questions have already been asked and answered in AMA questions about voting rewards, specifically on projects that have already been approved. And again, before the NFT DApp is up and running, which we anticipate to be in the second quarter, we definitely want to, we'll batch those out directly as far as those voting rewards. Very easy to do. Those that receive their PFISC in replacement of the WP again, multi-send is a phenomenal tool. Secondly, let's talk about Treasury Plus. One element that we always talked about with Treasury Plus was it being inside of Fiscus Central, and then specifically in Fiscus Plus. A great thing that we did not anticipate was the off-chain interest in Treasury Plus. And with that being the case, and those that are here and have been here understand the $100 million treasury commitment. That is in the format of off-chain Treasury Plus. The full details of that are inside of not only the token agreement but the Reg D. Princess will talk about the timing on being able to show that to the community. When we just think of the off-chain Treasury Plus, it's like who would be participating in that? What we already have is a private equity group. We have additional private family offices, hedge funds. These are groups that have assets in fiat that they don't specifically want to move to crypto. The beautiful thing about our model, we've been saying this from the very beginning, we are off-chain and on-chain. We are both. When we talk about the financial structures that we have, they exist where we are able to use as a set-aside both crypto and fiat. The yields on off-chain Treasury Plus are lower. They're directly half of what the on-chain Treasury Plus program will be. That is by design. The key there is to spur adoption and growth of the on-chain. Also, the expectation in the off-chain world is such that to really give the yield or to make that offer is something that is honestly not needed. One, because of the size of the capital, and two, because it's not in crypto, and so there isn't that element of risk. And so you'll see that we have additional on off-chain Treasury participants, Treasury Plus participants that we've already engaged with. We'll make those announcements once those are signed, and that will be moving forward. You won't hear much about participants until they're signed, and we're excited that of the largesse and what that really means for the Treasury, because again, this is a set aside accelerant, if you will. I think that's the best way to say that. Lastly, my third announcement for the day is a new token. And I think for those that are, again, we're waiting on the launch of Fisc. We're not talking about a token that competes with Fisc. We're not talking about an element that takes anything away from Fisc. It fully enhances it and shows our transparency. The token RAK or RAK has been created. This token allows everyone in Fiscus, those that are both off-chain and on-chain, to know exactly where we are from a treasury standpoint. So RAK it symbolizes what we have off-chain. But not only we're not saying what we have off-chain. The benefit of Finicity, and this is something that we were thrilled to make that announcement earlier in the week, is that these are verifiable assets. We're not talking about assets that are outside of our control. We're not talking about assets that we're just saying are there. These are verified assets from Finicity that are in the Fiscus ecosystem. And so those assets being verified and oracled, and then they're represented on chain via RAK. So everyone will know exactly where we're at. Remember, as we grow, the multiplicity of entities, of SPVs, of SPEs, of accounts both in fiat and in crypto and wallets. It's going to be a large ecosystem. We're at the very beginning of it, and already we've expanded far more than we thought we would even be at this point. And so this is for transparency. This is for everyone to know and to be able to see exactly where we're at any given point. Any less would be truly not taking advantage of all the elements of the blockchain that allow this to truly be the future, not only of project finance, but of finance. Thrilled to make that announcement. This will come with further details of this, the contract address of RAK, which of course is on Avalanche, how that process works, that handshake, if you will, between, or that overlap between the verification of assets and the issuance of RAK. We'll definitely get into all that so everyone can see that, but wanting everyone to know so that when you see inside of the token agreements and these off-chain Treasury Plus agreements and think to yourself, what is this? What is RAK? What are they talking about? Now you'll know. And so with that, I'm more than happy to turn it over to Kyle and hear everything that the dev team has been up to and all on-chain operations.
Awesome. Thank you, Phil. All right, guys, I know that we're eager for launch, so let's just dive right into it. As most of us know, we've encountered some errors here with our bonding pairs, and we needed to pause the launch. So, again, sorry for some of that disappointing news, but thank you very much for understanding this. Since we had to make that tough call, the team's been working around the clock in resolving these issues. Last night, I gave the devs some time off to rest. Everybody's looking a little scraggly. So, Ellie did decide to get a quick couple hours, but then work through the night as he noticed just some improvements that could be made in the staking functionality. So he took some initiative, and he's effectively rewritten this piece of code, and we'll be testing and finalizing it this afternoon. So Ken and the rest of the team, they're working on rewriting the bonding functions. So this doesn't put us off track or behind by any means, but I do appreciate the initiative and that we can effectively have a really solid product once we're all completed here. Now, once that is complete, we will add the pairing component to the bonding, and then we'll test again. So given that, we've had some breathing room here, we will take a couple days on this. We'll make sure we, do it right. Again, no promises on anything, but we are aiming for a launch early next week. Hope that's good with everybody, but realize we are also doing our best here to get things right first, and then as fast as we can second. So I know that, again, you're all eager and excited. We are too. So hang in there, and I do appreciate the support. Once we launch, we plan on the swap happening after launch, and I'll kind of explain why. But first, it was initially said that we would swap moments prior to launch. Now, the reason we sort of changed this is to ensure that the price at launch has been effectively set by us, and not mistakenly set by somebody else. What I mean by that is, moreover, like, we didn't want to have like an experience similar to Klima and what they experienced back in October, where they simply got burnt by somebody who perhaps accidentally created a pool before the team was able to create their pool and then launch. So how the workflow or how things will happen, the sequence of events will be like this. First we launch, and then we ensure staking, bonding, and all of that's working, and then we deploy the swap. And so this, those 3 steps or a couple steps there, it'll all happen within a matter of a few minutes. It's very quick, and the team internally is prepped to kind of go boom, 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 and test all of this. So we will communicate this ahead of time. Don't freak out. You guys will have enough notice, and there'll be enough documentation in and around this. And it should be a relatively smooth process. We also have support on standby as well. So, again, they'll help out where and when needed, as well as mods, admins, and everybody else. It's been, very helpful to, again, new people coming in and having a load of questions and confusion. Now, aside from prioritizing dev work, what's on my plate? Well, I guess I'm also working on formalizing the committees, and this weekend we've got some initial kickoff meetings for the projects and the coin committees. The projects and the marketing committees. And the coin committee, I'm gonna try and have a meeting sometime next week. Again, just for myself, I don't have the bandwidth to set up that meeting this weekend. I do want to focus on getting launch and having that having that all be successful. So coin committee will be pushed out by a few days. That's really it from my side. So back to you, Phil.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that, Kyle. And as Princess actually is currently engaged with legal, and so we may have her actually just make an audio recording of her announcements, and then we'll post that in the AMA channels and under announcements and notice board as well. Lastly, from my part, from a communications perspective, we're forming a communications team that will be formalized post-launch as a committee. And so what this will do, this will help everyone to really be on the same page. This will help us as the core team really be able to relay information, not only in a faster, more efficient way, but really in a way where understanding and community involvement in that understanding is vital. And so this committee will definitely be made of, right now it's standing about 4 that have been selected. We may expand that to possibly 6. And we're very excited for that, because we know that from a communication standpoint, as we continue to blend both the off-chain and the on-chain, and as we deal with projects and we deal with the flow of information and of understanding of concepts that are core to, let's say, project finance, and then at the same time dealing with staking and bonding and elements that inside of crypto exist in DeFi, that we're dealing with a lot, and that communication has to not only be stellar for the community, but for those even outside the community. When they come in, they really need to know not only, and the admins and mods and the committees in existence now have done a phenomenal job. Absolutely amazing. When we look at what let's say a Root has done, or a Lot, or Shoot the Breeze with guides and videos. And I know I'm missing several individuals, and I apologize for that. And you know who you are, and we thank you. But in relaying information and in quickly communicating, that's something that we will need moving forward. As we grow, it will become even more important. What we don't want are for individuals to come into the community and be thoroughly lost. We don't want individuals to come into the community and think one thing is one way and really it's another, and to have them base decisions on that. And so we just want to make sure that communication is clear. So very excited for that. With that being said, this is Fiscus Friday, and this is something that we will do every week, no matter how long or short it may be, no matter what we have going on or how busy we are. We want to take this time to engage with you as a community. And so we thank everyone, those that are listening to this later in the day or the night, depending on where you are, to the recording. Feel free, if you have questions, post those in the AMA channels. Let's engage about these thoughts and these topics. And as the core team, we continue to work. And there's a lot of work that is that's left for us from the on-chain perspective. It is growing by leaps and bounds. Excited for everyone to see and feel the impact of that. It has a leveraging effect of what we're doing on-chain, and vice versa. So thank you, everyone. This is Fiscus Friday. Have a wonderful Friday, and stay tuned for not only the announcements as we spoke of, but additional information on everything, and agreements, facts, numbers, all the questions answered. So thank you, everyone.